Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank, you are listening, caring partner.
A traditional proverb goes that what it would take a powerful man to achieve in 100 years would only take 3 months for 100 ordinary men. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. This week, we focus on the power of many. Don't go away. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. My guest today is Mr. John Githaka. He is the founder as well as the national chairman of Fountain Enterprises Program. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Anne.
It's nice to see you back to the show after many years. Obviously, the viewers who are watching this for the first time, so tell us about Fountain Enterprises Program in terms of who you are, what you do.
Fountain Enterprises Program, I would say, started 1998. I was still a student then. And this time, that vision came to my mind that in your generation, we shall create men and women who shall have an influence in this country. And it used to bother me, especially when I used to see students leaving university, graduating, and the whole clan comes to celebrate their victory. And the following year, you are looking at all of them very desperate. No jobs, no jobs, no jobs. And I had this issue, do we go to university? All those 20 years in school to get a job? And I had a conviction, that's not the idea. And for FEB, we said we want to change the destiny of our country by coming up with a system where men and women will appreciate that we don't go to school to get a job. Because we cannot be a country that only becomes a factory of producing employees. And for me, I was convinced we want to change this course and have a country where we are producing employers. And that was basically the foundation of Fountain Enterprises Program. And I called, 2 years down the line, I called a few friends, 7 of them, my friends, and I told them, you guys, must we be employed? And I told them, we can change the course of our destiny. And we said, why don't we start doing our own small things? And I had a conviction that we can do it. And I discovered it was all about mindset. And I discovered we need to start something here that will change the mindset of Kenyans. So 7 people came together. I started sending them the idea. We started digging the foundations. And for me as an architect, I was very particular. So for 4 years, we were 7, and we were about 56 members up to the year 2006. And we had been able to capitalize about 500,000. Then the year 2006 December is when now I would say the foundations of FEP were well laid and the pillars were very clear. And I would say within the year 2007, we were able to get membership of about 481. By end of 2008, we were about 1,200. By end of last year, we were about 2,500. And today we are talking about 4,800 members and still ticking. Needless to say that we are talking about 2-3 years ago, we had a capitalization of 500,000. And today we have a commanding portfolio of about 178 million. And our vision has been and is 2015. And our vision 2015 has been trying to plant pillars of influence in this country. And we identify them as one is a media house. We can have a media house by also 2015. Then we also want to have a group of hotels where men of God can come together and be able to create synergy, networking together, and being saying, yes, we are here, and this is how things are done. Then for me, the passion of schools has been my passion. So we have a vision of having the Fountain group of schools by the year 2015. And we've already started with one. We have a Fountain School Tigoni in Limuru, and we believe that is a starting point.
A young campus boy having a vision of creating employers and not employees And obviously, along the line, this has been realized and the vision has spread in the hearts of up to over 4,000 people.
Yeah, sure.
Tell me, what are some of the programs at FEP? You know, if I came to FEP today, if I'm watching and I'm thinking, I'd love to join FEP, you know, what are some of the programs that FEP has?
In FEP, our main program, we have the Fountain Enterprises program, which is the mobilization, the training arm, where we structure our members to be accountable to one another. Then we have the FEP Circle, Society Limited. Then we also have now the investment arm, where we tell people that in any economy you go all over the world, you look at the Asian tigers, you look at the Kairetsu model of the Japan, you find these guys are all talking about one thing called investment. And this is an area I found in Kenya, it's wanting. Guys don't know about investment in Kenya. And somebody saying that the real definition of an investor is when you don't work for money, but your money works for you. But you cannot be an investor until you appreciate some basic key principles. Principle number one is the power of putting together, where we are saying that it has been proved that for you to be a billionaire, does it surprise you that to be a billionaire in this country, you require to save 30,000 Kenya shillings a day for 100 years? And that tells you that any normal person operating the normal way will never be a millionaire. And I believe in this country we have about 100 of them. I see them. I can count them. But it's my conviction that since we now know how to become, we want to create 20,000, 100,000 millionaires in this country, billionaires, who will be able to change the destiny of this country. And for FEP, we tell you the secrets to answer direction. People say that there are three categories of people. There are those who do hard work. There are those who work very hard. There are those who work smart. And for FEP tells you, until you appreciate how to work smart, you have not gotten it.
Are you on, do you have a website? How do people get to know more about FEP, or even where your offices are if people wanted to join? How would they do that?
We have our website where you're able to log in and be able to appreciate what we do and how you can join. We also have 8 offices spread across 3 offices in Nairobi, and we have offices across the branches where you're able to visit our offices and be able to be given more information. You'll be able to find stuff that we're able to take you through and be able to help you how to log into the network.
John, we need to take a short break. When we return, we'll hear more about FEP. Yeah. Don't go away.
There are easy ways to look after your money. Introducing M-Kesho, the account on your phone. Open yours today at any Equity Bank branch or selected M-Pesa agents countrywide. M-Kesho from M-Pesa and Equity Bank.
Welcome back. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Today, my guest is John Githaka. He is the founder as well as the national chairman of Fountain Enterprises Program. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Tell me about FEP today. You know, you were on the show over 2 years ago, and FEP was just beginning. It was just, you know, taking its root in the nation. Where are we today with FEP?
FEP, I would say today, is a force to reckon with, and I'm proud to see that you have gotten to the highway. Because the greatest challenge was trying to tell people it can be done. They could see this idea looks good, but how was an issue. But I thank God that God has given me the grace to communicate the vision so clearly that before I can tell you 1 year ago, I used to be ahead there, people following me. But today I can say with confidence, I have about 4,000 people working with me. And I would say that today we have a commanding presence in Limuru, in Nairobi, in Thika, in Murang'a, in Kirinyaga, in Embu, Tharaka, Meru, Isiolo, Nyeri, and Nanyuki. We are also in Kapeguria, we are in Narok, we are in Kitui, Machakos. Then we have so many friends in the diaspora. We're in USA, we're in 5 states. In UK, we are in 4 cities, and we have about some 78 members in Dubai. And all this is a power of networking.
When you were here on the show a few years ago, you talked about obviously the different challenges of getting people together, which you'd also mentioned here in terms of just selling that idea.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any other challenges that you faced since you were here last on the show, and how have you overcome them?
One of the challenges I've really faced is one, that the Kenyan an employee mentality, that every Kenyan that ever went to our schools wanted to be employed. And that's what we became. That you find today the most successful people in this country are the people who missed the job they were looking for. Or some of them were sacked, and they started looking another way. And you find those are the people today with the money. And I want to tell you that if you want to go to the developed economies, you find the people who call shots are the investors. And you don't have to go far. Just go to Singapore, go to Malaysia, go to Japan, where you hear about the Kairetsu model, where you find the controlling force in the whole country. Some of you may not appreciate why the PM resigned from Japan, because there's a clique of men who came together and they control what happens in that country. And for me, I'm like, if we are able to create a force of a few men who are able to say, the time for creating employees in this country is gone, and we want to start creating employers, that way we shall never have joblessness in this country. I hope you are aware that everybody who comes to Kenya says, wow, endowed with the brains, endowed with human resource, endowed with,
Yes,
this is a country of plenty.
That's true.
But where are the thinkers? And for me, I see with my eyes so clearly that what we have today, are you aware, is a creation of the 70s. And there's a gap. Where are those thinking men? When did they disappear? And we believe the time has come for men of God to redefine the way things are going to be done in this country. And FEP is here to say it can be done.
Let's talk about the companies.
Yeah.
Currently FEP is, investing in different businesses.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe tell us about the other businesses that you've been investing in.
Our main key area of operation is the real estate, because that's where most of us professionals are in. And we are saying, using the building society model, we want to help people appreciate that you can own a home without getting a mortgage. So for us, real estate is key. We have also said about the schools. Then the other area we have really invested in is the hotel industry. And by the way, we are very keen on starting the 7-star hotels in this country. Because all of you are aware that the 5-star hotel was a 1970 concept. And one of these hotels we have here were done 1970s. Where is the new generation to come together and say we want to introduce the 7-star hotels in this country? And we're saying by 2015, we shall be having one in this country. And we also have a fountain tours and travel company, which is able to slowly nurture us into that direction.
You keep talking about 2015, which is obviously in the next 5 years. So
Yeah.
your 5-year goals are already clear
Yes.
and written out. Maybe you can tell us what those are. Then we'll look for you 5 years from now and see if you have gotten there.
For me, I see in 5 years very clearly that media house. I see very clearly that group of schools for the who is who, where children are baked to become little men and little women. I also see that association of men in that big golf course, where we are saying people who don't work hard, they work smart. They have all the time to relax, all the time to put it together, and more so to network. Then, of course, I see those chain of hotels owned by Fountain, where we'll be spending our time swimming, talking to each other, networking, because I am convinced we never came to this world to work. I believe God intended that we enjoy more than working. But I think Kenyans, we believe in working more than the way we enjoy ourselves. And for FEP, we are preparing you to get to that level by offering you the chance and the facilities for that.
John Githaka, thank you so much for coming to share your story. It's definitely an inspiration. It's great to see that, we talked to you over 2 years ago, and you've achieved those goals that were supposed to be 5 years and have set new ones for yourselves, which I'm sure we will be looking for you and seeing the progress. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Anne. I appreciate it.
You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. When we return, we'll be speaking to a consultant on the whole area of pulling resources together. Don't go away.
The Consultative Group to Assist the Poor, CGAP, recently held this year's annual meeting in Kenya. The team, made up of donors, investors and CEOs of microfinance organizations, visited Equity Bank at the head office in Upper Hill, Nairobi.
This is our annual meeting, and we chose to hold it in Kenya because Kenya is famous for microfinance and there are many exciting innovations. And the people in the room are from our member organizations. So CGAP is a consortium that has members from around the world that support microfinance.
CGAP is a consortium of public and private development agencies working together to expand access to financial services to the world's poor. CGAP was keen to learn from Equity Bank's experience on lending to the youth.
CGAP has a long-term relationship with Equity Bank. We've partnered with the bank for quite a few years now, from its early teenage years to its maturity today. And so it's been a very important partnership to us. We've learned a great deal from the innovations ranging from how to mobilize savings so efficiently, how to innovate in new products such as agricultural lending or insurance. And our particular interest today was in understanding the youth lending program, because in many countries this is a key challenge, how to mobilize the talent of young people.
Dr. Mwangi said convergence of banking and telecoms industries will bring on board previously unbanked Kenyans who own mobile phones but do not have bank accounts. The Hunger Safety Net program was cited as an intervention introduced by the government using Equity Bank infrastructure to deliver cash to poor communities in arid and semi-arid areas of northern Kenya.
DFID floated a tender here about Hunger Safety Net system, and we tethered and won the tether. We discovered you could substitute relief food with cash payment.
Very inspired by
CGAP was created in 1995 by 8 agencies and industry leaders to help create permanent financial services for the poor through microfinance. A section of the delegates then toured Gikomba branch where they interacted with staff and customers. Another group visited Kikuyu branch where they witnessed the operations of the bank firsthand. They were most impressed by dynamics that the youth and women have formed as incubators for individual business establishment and growth.
One thing that's very clear is how proactive Equity Bank has been in saying, these are our customers of the future, we must find a way to serve them, and let's innovate to do so. So that's one thing that has struck me. Something else that's noteworthy about Equity is you're trying to meet the more holistic needs of your young members. And so I think the experimentation with financial literacy and with entrepreneurship training is also an important feature of what you're doing.
CGAP's effort to build inclusive financial systems resonates with Equity Bank's purpose statement, which is to transform the lives and livelihoods of our people socially and economically by availing them modern, inclusive financial services that maximize their opportunities.
Welcome back. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Our consultant of this segment is Mr. David Tanki.
Thank you.
From Lanex Africa.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
When I started the show, I gave this quote that what it would take a strong man to do in 100 years would take 100 ordinary people to do in 3 months. And for me, I think that is really, 100 ordinary people in 3 months doing something that one really so-called powerful person, it would take him 100 years. So there's a power in numbers.
Absolutely. I think it is ancient wisdom. You remember, even in the scriptures, it is written that a code of 2 is better than 1. So ordinarily, it will mean the more the number of codes, the much better whatever you want to do can be. So if you have a code of 2 or a code of 3, it will technically be much better than a code of 1. And if you had one of 10, then it will be better than a code of 2. So the more the codes or the more the numbers, the better it will be for whatever you want to do.
In the earlier segment, I was talking to Kithaka of FEP, and I love their idea of bringing together all these different business people and using the investments to create enterprises and take over different segments, breaking it down to that business
to that
person.
level.
What are you saying? Are you saying, should I get more partners now because I've now realized that many people can do more? Should I welcome more partners in my business? Should I form a cooperative? Should I do something like John Kithaka? What are we saying?
I can explain it in this way, Anne. Your personal shilling a day becomes $1 million in 147 years at 3% interest rate compounded. Your shilling alone. If you got 10 people, each giving a shilling, at the same rates, it becomes $1 million in 99 years. Okay? Now, so you are reducing the number of years when success can come with the same amount of investment. If you were to do 100 shillings a day, meaning 100 people each giving a shilling, that becomes $1 million in 56 years at the same rate. Okay? Now, so the more it will therefore mean if you were not giving a shilling, you were giving 10 shillings. And you had more people giving the same 10 shillings. Okay? And if you were giving 100 shillings and then you have 1,000 people giving the same 100 shillings, we will be able to transform this nation within no time.
So what are the principles of pulling together? I'm watching this. I like that idea that actually I don't need to take 140 days, 40 years to become that millionaire. I can actually do it in less if I pulled
with other people. Yeah.
What are the principles? How do I start?
First, of course, there has to be somebody with that kind of a vision, like Kithaka in the last segment. He had a vision and he has developed the vision and sold it. So the principles that somebody needs to follow is, one, you need to have people with a common bond, people with like minds, people who are able to see what needs to be seen, the pulling together. Now, ordinarily, it never starts like that. It starts with one person with that kind of an idea, and then he sells the idea to people who are switched on the same, so that you're able to say, yeah, I think there is something here. Now, once you pull these people together, I think for me, the beginning point when people have come together is to make sure that you have everybody having in their blood system what the visionary has. So that the vision is not just with one person, it is with these many people, because they must all see what needs to be seen or what they want to do together. Then number two, they need to develop a mechanism to bring that to pass. For example, they need to agree how much thousands or how much hundreds or how much shillings each will be able to bring to the basket on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis or even on a yearly basis, as some people have actually done in Kenya, because this is a concept that is gaining momentum across the country.
So what we're defining sounds like a cooperative movement, it sounds like an investment club, it sounds like a SACCO. Is it all those things in one? Does it take all those different expressions?
Yes, it takes different formats. Look at what even happens from time before in our villages, you know, women meeting together and agreeing, 10 of them or 15 of them, to do some contributions to each other. And those women were able to go very far, okay? Now, this has metamorphosized to become something better than the merry-go-rounds that our mothers were doing in the village. I guess some still do even now. And it has taken different formats. One, cooperatives, and it has been in this country for a long time. People were farmers, but they discovered that as long as you continue with your farm alone, you may not be able to go as far. So the produce of your farm, combined with the produce of mine and all this, put together in one basket, gave people a very tough or a very good negotiating ability, and they developed the cooperatives. Then later, some people saw cooperatives is a little bit limiting because you are talking about these many people who do these things, having the background of farming and all that. Why don't we extrapolate it to other aspects, on other instruments of investment in the economy? And they said, yeah, like shares, for example. People have then extrapolated it from cooperatives now to investments, you know, investing in the capital markets. And they are now contributing together, pulling their resources together, people who are employed, pulling their resources together and investing in government bonds, treasury bills, investing in the Nairobi Stock Exchange. And the results are phenomenal, like FEB, like TransCentury. I mean, all of them have gone ballistic in every sense. People have gotten into serious real estate businesses as a result of pulling together, because alone, you may not have 3 million to put up one house. But when you are 10 of you, you are 100 of you, putting up a house can be done in the same month. And you have money to do now too. So your success is accelerated with the power of numbers.
David Tanki, always a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for coming to share your wisdom with us.
Thanks. I appreciate.
You've been watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Remember, there's power in numbers, so go ahead and begin to consider pulling your resources together. You never know what will come out of it. Have a great week, and God bless.
Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank. You are listening, caring partner.